Hello and welcome back, future scientist. I'm Mr. K with Mississippi Public Broadcasting, and I wanted to review a little bit of this ecology unit that we've been talking about over the past couple of days. So teacher, if you could, go ahead and find this worksheet. It's just 10 questions. Pass that out to all the students in the room. Y'all take 5 or 10 minutes to look over it, and then when you're ready for the review, come back to this video and I'll do it on the board with everybody. So take a couple minutes and come back to me when you're ready. All right, I'm sure that didn't give y'all any problem, but just in case it did, I'm going to review it on the board. So give me y'all's attention up here and make sure to add or change anything that you don't have. So let's go ahead and get started. Number 1 here says, which is not part of the water cycle? Okay, so all of these are part of the water cycle except for one, and what I need us to know is that is fixing. Let's go with fixing for this. Remember that fixing is part of the nitrogen cycle. When we gotta fix nitrogen and make it more usable for living animals and living organisms, we have to fix it first. So number 2, this says the process of plants losing water through their leaves is called. Okay, so for this one, this is going to be letter C, transpiration, and sometimes you'll see this called evapotranspiration because it's being evaporated off of the plant. Okay, all of these others are terms that are in the water cycle that I think you've heard of before, but transpiration tends to be one that you haven't heard of before getting to biology, so I want to make sure we talked about that one. All right, number 3 says, what is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere? So kind of surprisingly, this is going to be letter B, nitrogen. We tend to think of oxygen as being very abundant in our atmosphere, and it is, especially compared to other planets. But actually, nitrogen makes up the majority of our atmosphere. Great. All right, let's keep this going. I'll scroll down a little bit here. All right, here's 4 and 5. 4 says, where are nitrogen-fixing bacteria found? Okay, now I'll be honest, this one was a little bit of a trick question because there's actually 2 correct answers here. They can either be found on root nodules of certain plants, but they can also be found in the soil. And again, these nitrogen-fixing bacteria, their job is that they take that nitrogen, that N2, and fix it into a form that's more usable for organisms. So this one actually had 2 answers. If you picked either one of those or both of those, you were definitely right on the money. All right, so number 5 says, what is the only process that removes carbon from the atmosphere? Now, this is a process that we've talked about a lot. This is photosynthesis, okay? Remember that photosynthesis is kind of like the opposite of cellular respiration. And when we respire, we exhale carbon dioxide, which adds it to the atmosphere. But plants do the opposite. They absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and that's a good thing. All right, let's keep this going. I got just a few more on this. All right, number 6 says, what are some ways humans add carbon to the atmosphere? All right, I think I might have given this one away just a second ago, but when we exhale carbon dioxide. And so that's definitely adding carbon to the atmosphere, okay? And I would actually say all of these above. So I misspoke there, I didn't read all the answer choices, but all of these add carbon to the atmosphere. Burning fossil fuels, exhaling, and when we decompose. So I think D is going to be our best answer choice here. All right, let's keep this going. Number 7 says, which of the following does not add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere? Okay, so all of these would, except for planting trees. Because when you plant trees, remember they're going to start to do photosynthesis, and that would actually remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Great. All right, I got just a few left here. So here's 8. Which of the following are organisms that break down dead plants and animals and release nitrogen back into the atmosphere? Okay, so these are going to be bacteria. Bacteria is the thing that breaks down dead plants and animals, okay? All right, 9. Too much nitrogen in waterways like rivers and lakes can lead to what? That's going to be letter C, eutrophication. This is when there's a lot of nutrients in the water, especially nitrogen. We can have things that, like an algae bloom, so a lot of algae is growing at once. That might sound like a good thing, but it can kill the fish and disrupt the food web. So this is a bad thing, okay? 10, why do living things need nitrogen? So remember that nitrogen is in proteins and amino acids, so we need them for that. So thank y'all so much for making it here today. Your teacher has some other work for you to do, so make sure to give that your best effort, and I hope everybody has a great day.